Hey guys, and welcome back to Grower Solutions. It's Michael again. I want to talk to you today about what it may look like when your greenhouse kit arrives at your house. We do use freight to deliver, so they will do a roadside delivery. Again, with the weight and size of freight trucks, generally the freight companies we use will not come on to your property with their vehicle. Roadways are developed in ways to handle that sort of the weight. Generally, residential driveways are not designed to handle the weight of a semi-truck, so they will do a roadside delivery. Your greenhouse kit is going to come in loose bundles. So what we've got here is one of our smaller kits. On this pallet here is actually our affordable hobby house. It is a 10-foot wide sidewall house. What we're going to be looking at are the different components, what we generally pair together here in the shop when we build your kit. Again, all of our kits are built to order. We do not mass produce these on a large scale. We build your kit when you call and order it. So we're gonna start here with this. And one of the most obvious things when you get it on the back of the truck here to unload, one of the most obvious things is gonna be the arches here, the bow material. These should stick right out like a sore thumb to you, as they are gonna be the only piece designed with an arch in it. So if you'll notice, with all of these bundles being individual, right here we've got about 6 bows, or 6 bow pieces in each bundle. Our tubing is roughly 1 pound per foot. Our goal is to keep all of these bundles under 80 pounds. Again, the purpose for that being, now, I'm still in a pretty good place in my life here that I can pick this bundle up by myself. However, we do suggest that you have someone there to help you unload your greenhouse. The reason behind that being, yes, all of these, our goal is to keep them under 80 pounds. They can be lifted by one individual, but if you have one of these kits where this is going to go to one of our customers here, we're looking at a total of 7 bundles of tubing here. Some of our larger kits, we ship out 28, 29, 30 bundles at a time for one greenhouse kit. Even though they are meant to be lifted by one person, if you're doing that 30 times, it's never bad to have a second set of hands. That'll make the process go smoother. You're not gonna hurt your back, and it's gonna make it go just a little bit faster. If you'll notice that we have a hand wrap on these bundles here, the color for this particular customer is going to be yellow. It's gonna change with each customer. We have on the lot right now, I have a blue, a white, yellow, red, clear, mix match colors. Now, when our freight specialist reaches out to you to let you know that your greenhouse is ready to ship and to tell you what to look out for as far as, when you're receiving with damage or anything along those lines, or what company is going to be delivering your greenhouse, and what to look for as far as phone calls for scheduling your delivery and things along that line, he's going to go ahead and tell you your color code. So for this particular customer, they're looking for anything wrapped in yellow. If they were to receive any bundles wrapped in any other color, whether that's white or red, blue, whatever it may be, they would know that they've received somebody else's product. So that will be told to you once those phone calls are made to schedule and set up the delivery of your greenhouse. But there are things here we do that cut down on the number of bundles, which helps save us just a little bit of money on freight. So along those lines, if you order end-wall kits for your greenhouse, you see here that this is a rather bulky looking bundle here. It's got square tubing in it. It does have the round ground stakes for the end wall kits as well. This is actually both end walls for one greenhouse. So on this smaller kit, we only have 2 vertical uprights with the horizontals for the headers for the doorways. So this one, we're able to put the entire order of both end wall kits into one bundle. Go ahead and inventory the tubing as it arrives so that you'll know that you have both the vertical uprights here. Of course, we have ground stakes here. We slide those into the square tubing here. On both sides, we'll have the ground stakes slid into the square tubing. What that's gonna do is, as we bundle this together, it's gonna ensure these smaller round pieces don't get lost. So in freight though, they can sometimes shift deeper into the tubing. If you get in there and think maybe you're missing your ground stakes, go ahead and cut the bundle open, tilt one of those 3-footers up, and one of those 2'6" ground stakes may just fall out of it. For our non-structural components such as roll-up sides, even the purlin is not going to be retaining weight. It is going to rather tie the bow material together like a spine there. So what we've done is we actually use an 18 gauge material on our roll-up side and our purlin, again, to save on the number of bundles that you're going to have to unload. They only needed just a handful on this kit of each. So what we've gone ahead and done is put the purlin and the roll-up sides together. Now there are 2 labels on this bundle. It says 5 and 3 here. So 5 for the roll-up sides for each side, and 3 for your run of purlin there. For this house, it only gets 1 run of purlin. So that tubing, again, is all in one bundle, and it is for 2 different components. Another one of the parts of our kit here is going to be your wire and base. Now this is what we're going to use to attach the main and end wall films to our greenhouse kit. We do like to keep these generally together when we ship them. So what you're going to have here is the wiggle wire taped to the aluminum channel base. We do like to leave at least one end open, and this way, as you're inventorying, this is going to be one of the last things you do on your greenhouse kit. So if you're wanting to go ahead and cut your ground stakes open once you receive it, you do have your ground stake bundles here for this house. You can go ahead and cut those open, lay them out every 4 feet. You know, go ahead and get your square done and start laying the foundations for your greenhouse. If you don't want to cut this bundle open yet, because you're not going to use it till one of the very few last steps, you can go ahead and leave that together. But if you're going to inventory your materials when they arrive, we do leave one end open generally. So you are able to go ahead and count. They are paired together. So you're able to go ahead and count, make sure that you have the number you need to get your kit done. The last 2 bundles we have on this pallet here are going to be your ground stakes. This, of course, for this kit, as it qualifies as the low sidewall, is going to have a 5'3" ground stake on it. So these have been separated into 2 bundles of 6, which of course is going to go ahead and just be both sides of the greenhouse there. So again, a few things to keep in mind and keep an eye out for once you receive your greenhouse kits. These end walls, we do have some round tubing that may shift during shipping. It doesn't always happen, but it has in the past once or twice that we've had to answer a few phone calls and take a little time out to just walk through it. It ends up having you cut the bundle open on, again, one of the later parts of your project, just to tilt that out and see if that's in there. So go ahead and make sure the round tubing hasn't wiggled its way in there and found a place to hide on you. And again, we just wanted to go over these parts here, just kind of give you an idea of what it's going to be like on the back of the freight truck. So what we want to do is we'll take a step inside and take a look at what these pallets look like, give you just a slight peek at what it looks like in the shop there, and also kind of show you the inside of one of these trailers and what it's going to look like when the greenhouse arrives to your residence or farm, wherever the delivery may be occurring. Now this is for a different order here, you can tell, because as we discussed outside, the yellow hand wrap on the bundles, this one is marked in red, so different indicator, different customer. But it does give us an idea of what to look for on our pallets. So on this particular one, what we're looking at, this has been a main film that has been rolled off of its core, folded down into boxes so that an 8-foot core can be folded over and put onto a pallet with the rest of the hardware for this particular order. So that's going to be this larger box here. We have labels on it that identify it as the main poly. These in the white wrap here with the red hand wrap on them, this is going to be your end wall films. So we generally you'll see these are 2 separate rolls. We generally go ahead and take the hand wrap, even though it's going to be sealed on the pallet as well, and we pair these together. Keeps these smaller rolls from moving around. And again, it's just kind of a little bit of ease for you, the customer, is identifying you have 2 individual rolls for your end walls for the 2 individual ends of the house. We have a box here that's labeled as hardware, hard goods. Now, if they do shorthand on it, you may be looking for an HWHG. Those are just the ways to differentiate hard good, hardware. Make sure that everything gets in the box as we're packing it up here. This is what your pallet should look like on the back of the semi-truck. As you can tell, we use a heavier gauge shrink wrap to wrap the entire pallet together. You have some synthetic banding on here. We don't use metal banding just because we do have the films and things on there. Again, with the synthetic banding, it's a lot easier to remove with just a pocket knife versus having to have snips on some metal banding. This pallet is getting ready to go onto the wrapper and be wrapped up and shipped out as well. As you can see, we have a few extra things on this one. They have the hardware broken up into multiple boxes here, as well as some of the hard goods we discussed earlier being from the nursery supply side of our business here. So we've got the ground cover and a few other things. and all of this will be concealed. We put some cardboard boxes on top of the pallet here. It helps conceal all of your materials in there and helps protect and keep everything on the pallet. Now, this particular pallet here, we've got a weight sticker on there. It says it's 200 pounds. If you don't have a forklift readily available on the property, or a skid steer with forks on them, a tractor with forks on them, 200-pound pallet could be pretty intimidating. Even if you've got a second person to help, that's gonna be a lot of weight to drag off the back of that semi truck. I will say, depending on the company that delivers, there is the option occasionally that we can give you a lift gate, which will help get it on the ground. But if they're doing roadside delivery, as we discussed earlier, that's gonna leave that in the middle of the street. It's not gonna be great for you. So one of the things you can do, again, we're gonna talk about the synthetic straps here, not being metal banding. Take your pocket knife, cut those open. The heavier wrap here, again, razor knife, pocket knife, cut that open. When you rip all that shrink wrap off there and the banding off there, you're gonna be left with this sitting on the back of a semi truck. Go ahead and load your pieces off individually. Most of our boxes, again, are packed in a way that we keep them under a certain weight limit so that if you need to, you can unload by yourself. If you guys will give us just a moment here, we'll take a look inside the semi trailer over here and kind of show you what to expect when it arrives at your house, what to be looking for on the truck, and once it arrives, how to inspect the greenhouse, how to inspect the bundles, the film, and things like that for damage that may occur during freight. All right, guys, so we're gonna talk a little bit softer here, forgive the echo, we are in a trailer. So I just wanted to show you here, we did go ahead and move this greenhouse into this semi-trailer to go ahead and let you see what it may look like when it arrives to your destination. So we do request that within the first 48 hours, you inventory all of your product. That way you can reach out to us before you get lost in the stack of orders there. You can reach out to us in the next 2-3 days from receiving it, and you can say, hey, Michael, you guys messed up and you wrapped me one less ground stake than what I actually need to build my greenhouse. Now that's Michael's fault, and I'm gonna ship that straight out to you as fast as I can, usually on FedEx. If it's a small enough ground stake or a small enough item, I will send it FedEx to you as fast as possible. We do handpick all of these kits. We are human. While we do our very best and run through double, triple checks, taking photographs and everything like that, we are not perfect. Occasionally, we are gonna miss. Just give me a call. We'll get you what you need and no additional charge. Of course, that's our mistake. We're gonna make sure we make it right. But one of the things I want you to look at, now this needs to be done immediately upon unloading. And what we wanna look at is down the length of these bundles. We wanna give them a slight little turn here, look at the bottom side. We wanna look to the back side over here, check our ends, both sides. We wanna make sure that during transition from one trailer to another, or from the terminal back on a trailer, back to your house, what we're looking for is anywhere that this pipe may be damaged in the shipping. And most commonly, when it does occur, you're gonna have where somebody in a warehouse maybe didn't even know they did it, bumped it with a forklift and dented or even misshaped our bow material, our ground stakes, something along those lines. And also, when they're loading into the truck, the potential that somebody caught the end on something, whether that be the end of the trailer, the back side of the trailer, the dock gate, whatever it may be. But occasionally there'll be some damage here in this area. Now there are things you can do on site if you're not wanting to wait on me and FedEx to get you a replacement for a damaged item. There are things you can do. Ground stakes can be shortened by 1 inch and they're not gonna mess up your build. You know, things like that. Generally with purlin, that's one that tends to get damaged occasionally. And the thing about purlin is we're always gonna send more than enough. On all but a handful of kits, the way that we order our purlin tubing in 7-foot and 10-foot plus sections, it is more feasible to go ahead and give you a little bit of excess tubing. Now it's dual purpose. First of all, it saves a little bit of labor, which again saves on the cost of the kit. And second off, it does give you a little bit more material. So if something comes up in the project and you made a mismeasurement and cut short, chances are you've got a little extra material to make up for that cut and short. So we're hoping in that case it does help you out. So again, if we do have purlin that's a little bit damaged, our first step is gonna be to take some measurements and see if we can cut some of that excess off that will be waste or used on another project at your house, farm, whatever it may be. There's other things we can do as well. We've done some things here in the middle of a project. Now we may have been off property, I say here locally, where we got to a project and we ourselves, during moving the bundles, actually damaged the end of one of our pieces of material here. And one of the simple fixes was we've used in the past was a heavy screwdriver or a small pry bar and put it inside the diameter of the pipe. We straightened it back out where we put a little crimp on the end, and we were able to put the greenhouse together, no problem. So all that to say is once we unload it off the greenhouse, we're doing two things. We are making sure the trucking company got us the correct number of bundles. So again, on your bill of lading or your BOL that you're gonna sign for the trucking company, it'll have the descriptions. It'll say 7 bundles and 1 pallet. So what you're looking for is the number of bundles to show up correctly. You don't want 6 when you're supposed to receive 7. And also we're looking for damage. And the important thing to do this as it's coming off the truck is we want to tell the driver. Now we're not going to refuse this shipment. No matter what, we don't want to refuse that. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and receive it as damaged. That way they will give you generally an exception number. And what you'll do then is reach out to us. The trucking company will also reach out to us. And that's going to let us start a whole claims process so that we can get you the proper material undamaged. Or if they're missing something, and again, generally the number one thing that I see coming up missing would actually be the pallet. So you'll receive all 7 bundles, but no pallet. The driver will sign that there was a missing item. You'll sign that there was a missing item. Both parties agree, something's not here. Again, that starts a process where they reach out to us, or you yourself may want to reach out to us, give us the exception number as they gave it to you, and that will allow us to reach out to not only the closest service terminal, which is going to be the one delivering to you, but also our service terminal that's closest to us, who through our relationships with them has been really great in finding this. And a lot of times when we have a pallet missing or 1 bundle missing, we make that phone call and within 30 minutes or less even sometimes, we're getting a call back that says, hey, it is on our dock, it is in 1 terminal away from you, which means they'll get it to you usually the next day, or maybe even the same day, depending on what's going around there. So big things are, make sure the bundles are there, make sure the pallet's there, make sure that we're not damaged. If we are, get your exception number, receive everything, give us a call, and we'll get started on making it right.